And we are back on the Windsor scene on CJAM 99.1 FM. I'm Lauren Hedges. Thanks for tuning in. The last song that we heard was Seven Thrones with The Flood. Before that, Devils by Definition with Endless Wake, Skies Beneath with Pillage, Battle Soul with Chosen, and Came with Willow Farm. That was a long set, but it really worked well together, so I thought you guys would enjoy it. All of those bands are going to be playing Friday, August the 2nd at the Dominion House. That's this coming week. Definitely one worth checking out. Like I mentioned, Battle Soul is one of my most favorite of bands, especially from around here in the London area and whatnot. Really, really good stuff. Highly recommend them. And now I do have today's special guest here in the studio with me, so go ahead. Give yourself a bit of an introduction.
Hello, I'm Michelle Soulliere, and I'm the lead researcher for WindsorMusicTangle.com.
Awesome. Lead researcher. That's a pretty good title.
Pretty much the only researcher.
Yeah, that was going to be my question if there are co-researchers. But, I mean, hey, at least this way, you know it's being done right.
Exactly.
Yes, okay. So for anybody not entirely familiar with the project, what is the Windsor Music Tangle?
The Windsor Music Tangle is a continuation of Fog Lounge's Windsor Rockwall project that started about 2 years ago now. Tom Lucier, the co-owner of Fog Lounge, started it. Basically what it was a bunch of craft paper taped up to the walls of the inside of Fog, where people could write down band names and then also members of bands and connect the members to other bands. And it grew out of control, I'd say, to the point where more papers needed to be added around the perimeter of it to make it bigger, and the connections got to the point where they were pretty much not readable on the paper anymore. I mean, you could spend a lot of time looking at it, and it's definitely really interesting to look at. But I guess the idea was to kind of, with the WindsorMusicTangle.com, is to turn that physical paper into a website database.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's it going so far?
Well, it's going good. I think from the time I first started collecting data off of the original Rockwall to now, the information's pretty much doubled. So I took everything off the original wall and then have been adding more and more content to it. Yeah.
So this has been a couple years you've been going at it so far?
No, actually, I started in March of this year.
Oh,
was
well.
when I was hired by the Windsor Public Library.
That's a lot of work in a not very long period of time.
Yeah, well, I'm doing it 15 hours a week. So I have some time to dedicate to it, which is nice. And it's been easy with the response from the community. Everyone's so willing to provide me with information.
I bet. Mm-hmm. So you said you were hired by the Windsor Public Library.
Yes.
So this is a project that they started?
They took it on. Tom approached. I don't really know how the initial connection was made between the library and Fog Lounge, but Tom Lucier worked with Jean at the library to basically write a grant to the ministry, the Ontario Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport. The grant was a Cultural Strategic Initiatives Fund. So basically, the library is looking to take this database, connect it to their archives, and for them, it's a local archive of Windsor history. So that's their interest in getting the database.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. And they approached you for the job, or you applied for it?
Well, I applied for it and was successful. So
right on. You seem like a good person to be doing it. You're very dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, I have, pre-established connections with lots of Windsor people and organizations, especially, places like CJAM, where there's tons of resources here for me to grab from. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I'm really interested in. I love local history, and I have a background in databasing and new media studies at the university, so it kind of just all fits in really nicely.
Nice.
And I'm having fun.
Very important. Awesome. So when do you see this project? I mean, it's never really going to come to an end because, there's always going to be new bands, but when do you see it really coming into a full, tangible thing that we can go look at online?
Well, the website is going to be launching in coordination with FogFest, which is September 14th of this year. And that will be kind of like a soft launch where people can actually see the website, filter through the content, and let me know of any changes or additions to be made. And my position ends at the end of November, so between the launch on September 14th to November 30th is going to be kind of my time to complete the database as much as possible.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds awesome. And where have you been getting your info from so far?
Well, aside from just the actual wall itself, I'm trying to pull as much as I can off of that. I looked through the CD library here at CJAM, and that was a great source of info. Also, just asking people and talking to people. And social media has been a really good help as well, getting the word out about specific bands that need information or like specific questions to people.
Right on. Mm-hmm. That helps. Now, you've had one info night so far. You've got another one coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So what are those about? What happens there?
Well, the info nights, they're kind of laid back. I mean, I have some stuff prepared, but it's really just based on whoever shows up and what information they have for me. It's really great to see people come in with like old 45s and like a stack of old 8.5 by 11 photocopied flyers. Really awesome. That information is pretty much like, I'd say the most important, because I can take those flyers and do reissues of them. I'm doing silk screening as promotion for the music Tangle, so I'm taking like old t-shirts, old album covers, old posters or flyers, and I'm going to be redoing them either in like t-shirt form or poster form. Nice. Which is cool as well. But also, wait, what was the question again about the info nights?
What happens there?
Oh,
what
okay.
Are they?
Yeah, so the one coming up at FOG, I'm at the point now with the data that I have specific questions in specific areas of the database to build. So the database includes bands and members by band, but it also includes instruments by musician, and it on top of that also genre and decade by band. So you'll be able to search through the information with any of those categories, right? So you can search decades, you can search instruments, you can search musicians' names, band names, and how it all connects, right? So now I'm looking to build the decades by band and also the genres of music by band, which has been extremely challenging considering that there's so many genres out there, and also so many subgenres or just like genres that people make up for their band, which is fine and cool. I'm just trying to make sure it's all included.
Right. That sounds awesome. Now, when people are on this website, they're just going to be seeing this information, or there's going to be links to where they can listen to the music?
Unfortunately, at this point, there's not going to be links to any music. That would be a great way to expand the website, I think. So right now, people can just view it. But in the future, it'd be really great if the website were expanded so that users could add their own content, as well as have links to band sites or their SoundClouds, or like links to even like posters for events or stuff like that as well.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully, either you get recontracted to do it or somebody else takes up the torch, because this sounds like a really awesome project and I'm excited for what it's turning into. Are you having like so much fun doing it?
It's pretty much the best fit for me. I'm having super amounts of fun. It's really great to be working out of the library. They've been super accommodating as well. I know that some of the stuff I'm planning on doing is a little bit unconventional for them, such as, I'm going to be silk screening in their basement, making, like instead of getting the traditional like ad in the newspaper or like flyers, I'm doing all handmade, hand-printed, silk screened items. So that in of itself is pretty, I'd say, experimental for the library. But they've been really great so far, and I think they think I'm a little bit of a weirdo, but they're dealing with it, and they're all super positive about the project as well.
Awesome. No, that sounds great. That's exciting about all the silk screening. I think that's a great way to do it. People are really going to pay attention to that, probably more than a newspaper ad, because who reads newspaper anyhow? It's all online now.
Exactly, and that way it kind of it promotes the website to the actual people that will be using it and participating in its creation, which to me is really important, rather than trying to promote it to the city as a whole. It's really about the community of musicians and music lovers in Windsor.
Awesome. That's great. So let's reiterate the time, date, place of the next meeting.
Yes, it's a information collection / confirmation night. It's tomorrow night, August 1st, at Fog Lounge, which is located at 157 University Avenue West in Windsor. I'm going to be hanging out there from 6:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. collecting your information about local bands or local musicians. But also I'm collecting, and I will take care of, and you can have back your flyers and your t-shirts and your CDs of local musicians and bands as well.
Cool. That sounds fantastic. So any last words you want to put out there about the project?
Well, stay tuned for the website, I guess, and be sure to check out windsormusictangle.com after September 14th.
Awesome. Michelle, thanks for coming in today and talking to me.